After downloading the database, you're presented with this dashboard. This dashboard is the control center of the entire database. The moment you open it, you can see what is open, what is overdue, what is completed, and how your maintenance team is performing. But having an empty dashboard does this no justice. So I'm going to present to you a dashboard with a lot of placeholder data included so you can experience the full functionality of this dashboard. And here it is. So instead of guessing or digging through spreadsheets, the system puts your most important maintenance numbers right in front of you. You can track the total work, open task, overdue PMs, and completed work so you can always know what is happening in your shop. The total is your overall workload. Open shows what still needs attention. Overdue shows PM that are late. Completed shows what has already finished. And notice that it's just for the work order. So as we transition through tabs, the KPI dynamically reacts to the tabs change. The dashboard also gives you performance KPI. Compliance shows how much work was completed compared to the total. The average PM duration is specifically for PMs, and it shows the average time it takes to finish preventive maintenance by comparing the date started to date completed. And when you move over to the work order, the average PM duration shows the average time it takes to finish preventive maintenance by comparing date started to date completed. And also for average time to close, which shows how long it takes to fully complete the work order from start to finish. And for reliability, the dashboard tracks MTTR and MTBH and MTBF. MTTR means mean time to repair, and it shows the average repair time for failure related to work order. Why MTBF, or mean time between failures, helps to understand how often your equipment is breaking down over time. Those two numbers helps you spot problem equipment before it becomes a bigger production issue. And what makes this powerful is that these KPIs are not just numbers for reports. They help you answer reshop floor questions like, are we falling behind on PMs? Are breakdown being handled quickly? Are repairs taking too long? Is one machine failing too often? This dashboard helps you answer those questions immediately. So instead of managing maintenance with memory, paper, or scattered spreadsheet, this dashboard gives you a one screen to measure workload, response time, overdue maintenance, equipment reliability, and overall team performance. It also gives you a window. So based on the selected days, for instance, the last 7 days, you can filter out the KPIs that has been done in those selected days. For this one, there hasn't been any work order that was submitted for the last 7 days. Let's go to 30 days. We have two that has been completed, 90 days and 365 days and the entire. So as you move from tab to tab, it dynamically changes the KPI. Now let us return back to our empty dashboard so I can show you how to add the part numbers, how to add equipment in order to get you started. So in order to get started, the best practice is to have an Excel spreadsheet or a notepad that records the equipment and the part numbers and other information that we're going to start adding to our database. So to generate a preventive maintenance, we go to the tab that we want to create the PM on. For instance, we want a daily PM. So we're in the daily PM tab and we click new. When we click new, there are combo boxes for equipment, task, service tech, and part that needs to be populated. So since this is a brand new database, we have to populate this tab for the first time. Best practice is to list down in a spreadsheet or a Word document what part numbers you're going to add, the technicians, and part numbers. For now, I'm going to add equipment. So here are the equipments that I'm going to add. First, the equipment is going to be separated by categories, subtype, then the equipment, and the serial number. And we are going to add 5 different equipment. So let's get started. So to add equipments, we first go to the equipment tracker. So to add equipment, we first go to the equipment tracker. We click the equipment tracker. It takes us to the equipment dashboard. And in the equipment dashboard, we first of all go to the equipment categories. And when we go back to our list, we have 4 equipment categories: the production, the maintenance, the facility, and material handling. So let's add production, and then maintenance, facility, and material handling. And make sure this checkbox are active. And then after you're done with that, you X out of this page, which saves it. And then we go to the subtype. The subtype we have here, we have 5 subtypes. And just a reminder, this is just for the tutorial. Of course, in your facility, you might have a different category or subtype or equipment, but this is mainly for the tutorial. But this is mainly for tutorial purposes. So here, we click this drop down, which is the category that we just created. We select production, and production matches with CNC machine. And we select production again, and that matches with press brake. And we select maintenance, and that matches with air compressor. And we select facility, and that matches with HVAC unit. The next one is material handling, and that matches with forklift. So we're done with the subtype. Now I have to make sure that the checkbox is active, and I X out. And then I go to equipment, add and edit. Add and edit equipment. So since we have matched the category with the subtype, we have to follow that match. Otherwise, if you try to match production with air compressor, it's going to give you an error message. In fact, let's try it. So matching production with air compressor gives you that subtype does not belong to the selected category. So we have to match it with the category, the correct category. CNC, production, press brake, facility. The subtype does not belong to the selected category. So facility is HVAC units. Material handling is forklift. So the next step is to add the equipment name and serial number. Press brake, the serial number. And that's it. So far, we're just going to go with 4 equipments in the database just for our tutorial. And after we're done, we X out and we X out of the equipment dashboard and go back to the main dashboard. So what is left? We have added the equipment, and now we have to add our part numbers. For the part number setup, I have a couple of parts here, but I'm just going to add 2 parts. Just for simplicity's sake, and to save time, I'm just going to add just 2 part numbers. So to add these part numbers, you have to know what the part number is, the description, the units, the location, the cost, the safety stock, the vendor, and the type. So let's go ahead and add the part number information. So we first click the part tracker, and it takes you to the part dashboard. Here in the part dashboard, we first of all start with our part type. Our part type here is bearing, and belt. And we'll make sure it's active. And then we X out. The next is part location. So I already added some part locations. So since I've already added some part locations, we're good here. So I X out. And then I go to part units, which has already been added. And then I go to add vendor. And the vendors have already been added as well. So, but we're not done yet. We haven't added the part numbers and we haven't added the part details in our database. So let's go ahead and add the parts. So we're going right on this tab that says part entry / adjustments. And in this section, in this tab, there's 2 sections. The first section is part inventory. The first section is new part entry. So this is where you enter new parts. And this is where you adjust your parts. So if you go to our adjust inventory, there is no part in our system. But after we add parts, this will have some options. And when you click it, it will populate the rest of this so you can make some adjustment on your inventory if you want. So let's go ahead and select the part number and paste it here. And the part description, part units, each, the safety stock, which is 6, the cost, which is $12.50, the location, which is crib 1, maintenance crib 1, the quantity, let's just say it's 100. The part vendor is Motion Industries. The part type is bearing. So we're ready to add this part. So after we have added all this information, we click add new part and we receive a pop-up box that says new part added successfully. We click OK. Now, just to make sure that the part has been added, you can now go to the adjust inventory. Now, you don't have to do this. It's just for tutorial purpose to show you the functionality of the adjust inventory section. So when I click this now, this populates when I select it. See, it also shows us information about the part that we've selected. So if we want to make adjustments, say we did a circle count and we found that it needs to be corrected because we received 101 instead of 100. So the quantity we want to change is we want to add 1. And you can leave a note if you want. And then you click Submit Adjustment. And you see this pop-up box that said Part Adjustment Submitted Successfully. You click OK. And if you click this part again, it will show you the adjustment that you made. So it leaves an audit trail of the part you added, when you added it, and the adjustment you made. So you can't just go here and change the numbers because this cell, this row is inactive. The only way you can make the adjustment is through this section. That's very important for an audit. So we still have one more part numbers to add. Let me go here and clear. And let me go ahead and add another part number so we can have two part numbers in the system for our tutorial. We add the part number, the description, the cost, safety stock is 4, location, maintenance script 2, the opening quantity, you just put it at 500. And the part vendor is Granger. Part type is belt, units is each. So we click add new part. Now new part added successfully. We click OK. So, and if you go down this drop box, you can see that 2 part has been added. So we're good to go now. We're done on the part side. So we X out of this screen. Now, the next item we have to add is technician. So to add technician, we go to miscellaneous. And in miscellaneous, there's service tech. Now I'm going to show you something important in service tech. So service tech here, I've already added 2 service tech technicians. And if you notice, I also include their pay rate, $30 and $35. Now this is important when you are calculating the total cost of a maintenance, which is the reason why it is important to add the pay rate. However, even if you're not a technician, but you want to receive an email whenever a PM is about to be due, or when a PM or a work order is created, you can also go ahead and add your name as well. You don't need to add your hourly rate. Doing that, you've added your email, which is important because this is where the database goes in to know who to send emails to. So it basically sends email to everybody on this email list. Another important thing is, so now we're done with this. Another important thing is on the periods and email reminder. So this cell is inactive. So you can't change the daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly. yearly, and 6 months. That is structurally tied to the database. So if you want to add more periods, you have to get in touch with us by reaching out to us through email. However, the most important thing about this page is you can change the reminder day. And what do I mean by that? So, one day means that if my PM is due in one day, I will receive an email in one day. And weekly, if my PM is due in one week, a day before that PM is due, I will receive an email. So you might want to change this to maybe you want to receive it 2 days. So that will inform you, give you a reminder that you have an email due in a day. And monthly, quarterly, yearly, you can change that to 7 or whatever days suits your need, because you might need a part ordered for that. You might need to order some part for that maintenance, and there might be a lead time for that particular part. So, which is why it is important to stagger out the days, the reminder days based on your specific maintenance requirement. But for this tutorial purpose, I'm just going to leave it all as 1. So that's it for that, and we X out of that. The next thing that we might want to add is, especially for the work order, is the defect and reason code. So, and that is right here. So the defect and reason code is currently empty, except for the reason code. So we have some reason codes here. We're going to go ahead and add the defect codes later, but this is where to get that done. So now we have enough information to create a work order. So we want to create a daily work order. So in order for all the data that we have added to repopulate, let's go ahead and X out of the database and open it back up. So to enter a daily PM, let's go ahead and select the equipment. So I want to go to facility and HVAC unit, and then select the equipment. And then we click new under the daily tab. It takes us to this form with the equipment already filled out because we selected it. We select the task. And then we put in a comment, which is optional. And on the how-to link, if you have a shared drive where all your instruction is stored, you can copy that shared drive and paste it in this hyperlink. And since you're generating this PM, you don't have to add service technicians unless you want to start the PM. But for now, we just want to generate a PM. We're going to come back to this later. We're going to come back to add in the service technician and the part number later. So after we've added this information, we click save, and when we watch as yeah, so now after that, it refreshes itself and the PM that we've created populates. You can see that the PM has been created, but it hasn't been started and is not completed yet. And as you can see, our KPI has a total of 1 and 1 open. So now let's go ahead and assign this PM to a maintenance technician. And when we click on this to assign it, watch what happens when we assign it to technician. The start dates will populate. So we click here and ultra long, and you see, so the database is indicating that we have started the PM. And after that, we can find After that, we can select the part numbers to indicate the part that is used for that maintenance. We added only 2 parts. So let's click this, and then we can select the quantity of part used. Maybe 2, and it calculates the total amount, and it ties it to this PM. Let's go ahead and select the second part, and then maybe we'll put 3. And then it calculates the total, which is 76. So $76 it will cost you for just the parts. So after we've done that, let's close this and save. And now we see that the date has been started and it has assigned it to a service technician. Since we're doing this right away, let's go ahead and close this PM. Let's say the service technician is done. What is next? When the service technician is done, it's time for them to close the PM. However, before we do that, let me show you how good the part inventory is, because it's a very dynamic inventory system that tracks your inventory and it knows when you're running low. So let's say instead of, because now we have available 498 part. Remember we had 500 initially. By taking away 2, it's now 498. Say we need 2000 V belt for this task. We can click 2000 and watch what happens. When we try to go, when we try to leave, it tells us that you don't have enough in stock to perform this task. So we click OK, and let's go back to our 2. So now we know that our inventory is functioning correctly. So we click complete date because we're done. And it auto populates this date. And also if we want to attach a file, we can go here, select the date, type in a file name, and by just clicking here and hovering over this, it shows you this attachment, and we can attach a document. And we can attach a document. So here we go. You attach a document, and now we can go ahead and save and close. When we try to save and when we click the button to save and close, a pop-up that asks you if you want to schedule another PM populates. So you can either click yes to schedule a similar PM under that period. So if it's a daily, you can schedule on that daily. If it's weekly, the same thing. If it's quarterly, the same thing. If it's yearly, the same thing. So yes, we want to schedule another PM. So we click yes. So it automatically creates a PM with the same task, with the same part numbers, and it also copies this picture as well and the how-to link. So we click OK, and now we have 2. So this is the one that we're closing. This is the first line is the one we're closing, and the second one is the new PM that was generated. Now, if we go back in here, you can see that the cost of repair is $76. Of course, we only spent like 1 minute maintaining this equipment, so it wouldn't calculate the labor hours. So we click save and close. Now, if you come back here and click save and close, it tells us again if we want to reschedule. But we've already rescheduled this before, but just for fun, let's go ahead and click yes to schedule another one, see what happens. When we click yes, it pops out an information saying that a matching active PM schedule already created. So it won't allow itself to generate the same PM twice. So we click OK and it exit out of this form and back to the dashboard. So now we have added the part numbers, added we added the equipment, the task, the service technician, and the email reminder as well. And also, we're able to reschedule our PM. And wait, one more thing. It also generates an email reminder as well, which tells you that a preventive maintenance has been created, and it sends an email to those technicians that are listed on the email list. It not only sends that email to that specific technician that you assign that PM to, it also sends an email to every technician that is on that email list. So even as an administrator, you can add your email and your name on that list, even if you don't have the pay rate. So that's it for this tutorial. See you on the next one.